I would like to talk to you today about filing a personal income tax return. There's three categories that I would like to kind of cover. One is being required to file, two is benefits from filing, and three is the penalties and interest from not filing. If you are a U.S. citizen, you are required to file a tax return, and also if you're supposed to report all of your gross income for the year of the tax return being filed. And a great way to figure out different requirements and things like that is to go to the IRS website. It's irs.gov.com. They have a lot of great helpful tips and facts and a lot of things that will help you with the requirements of what to file, when to file, dates, and all of that you'll need to know to file your tax return. Also, the benefits from filing are great because, I think a lot of people, when you hear the term taxes, they just kind of freak out, but it's really not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. It's more, I think people just, they don't want to pay in. They don't want to pay in, and I understand that to a point, obviously, but, at the same time, a lot of the things that you're paying in for, for your state or federal, it can be for your roads, for new businesses to come in, and I think a lot of people don't think about the indirectly related tax dollars that are being used. I think everyone kind of goes to, our tax dollars are being used for things that they don't maybe approve of or agree with, but at the end, we are getting benefited indirectly as well. And also we are being benefited directly. If we're trying to get a home loan or a car loan or, even a school loan, they're going to want to see your tax return for the year that you have, the previous years. That way you can apply for a loan. It's just more of a proof of income, more or less. And if you don't have that, then they're just not really going to want to look at ways to give you a loan. So I feel like there are just a lot of ways that you can be benefited from filing a tax return, and I just feel like I really have learned a lot from doing that as part of my job. I love it. It's kind of weird, sound like tax nerd or geek, but I really enjoy it, and there's so many rules and regulations, and I think it can be overwhelming to some people, but I just don't think it's as hard as people make it out to be. But the last thing I want to talk about is the penalties and interest, which of course everyone kind of freaks out. If you get an IRS letter, we have people come in all the time that they just like, oh, I got a letter from the IRS, and they don't know what to do with it. And really, normally you just got to write a letter or something, and you can get the fees waived depending on what the case may be, of course. But there's another great website to go to. It's called taxes.bout, like about, but it's just bout.com, and there you can find a lot of articles and things like that about the penalties and interest that can be accrued for not filing a tax return. They vary, depending on how much income you don't report, or if you just didn't file at all. There's just a lot of different penalties and interest things that can come about when you don't file, or if you file incorrectly. So there's a lot on that website that will help you with all of that. But anyway, I felt like this was something I could talk about, that I could really maybe help people realize that, it's really not as bad and scary as people may seem to think it about, but it's really a fun topic sometimes, and I felt like this is something I could share and hopefully help you in your future tax return filings.